All right. I just did a video last week about how to boost your sales. And I was thinking, my timing might not be that great on this because here we are at the time of the recording. It's the end of May. By the time you guys see this, we'll be in June. A lot of the kids will be out, and we are going into what is called the summer slump or summer slowdown. It is a thing, okay? It is a thing, not just in reselling, but in my past experience, even with brick and mortar retail stores, it is a thing, okay? And the reason why is because people are living a different kind of life in the summertime. A lot of people like to stay home, they're grilling, they're going to the pool, the kids are at home, they're taking vacations, they're out and about, going to zoos and museums and taking walks up in the mountains or down at the beach. They're not sitting at home freezing to death with yucky weather trying to figure out some way to entertain themselves, okay? Plus, at that time, if they're taking vacations, they're probably spending their money on the things that are relative to their vacation, like souvenirs and getting ice cream and excursions and what have you, okay? So the summer slowdown is a real thing, and I'm going to talk to you about things that you can do during the summer slowdown to help your business going forward. And I promise you, I'm not going to say list new stuff, although that's always the case. That is always the number one case, but that doesn't count. Number one is to actually check your inventory. So you're going to look for things like listings that have disappeared. Happens all the time. Errors in your listing happens all the time, and not just me. Okay, look at Becky Park. Somewhere, I don't know, a few weeks ago, I saw one where she had done a typo and was talking about, getting sales going, and no wonder her item wasn't selling. And Becky Park is really well known, okay? And the reseller community has a lot of great information, but you want to look for errors. And then maybe your listing's stale and it's just not going to sell. So maybe it's time to just take it down, take it as a loss, accept the fact that it's not going to move anywhere, and we need to think about other options, which leads me to number two, and that's to have a yard sale. Now, hear me out on this, okay? Of course, you can donate your things that don't sell, or you can try to squeeze those last little bits of pennies out of whatever it is before you donate by having a yard sale. You may have found that one of the things that you're having trouble is not so much the item itself or the value or the price of the item, but because the shipping has changed. Because remember, in January, USPS changed their shipping, and now they don't have it's not the same, okay? So some of the larger, bulkier items are actually pretty expensive to ship. And depending on where you live, like I'm on the East Coast, okay? So I have found that my sales are not going to California like they used to, okay? Maybe some things are going, but anything that's going to be huge and heavy that I can't fit into, say, like a flat rate box, or something that's going to be more economical for that buyer, at least on eBay, they're not moving, okay? So there's that. You might want to have a yard sale and let your community come. You don't have to sell it for $1. You could still maybe list it for half of what you have it on eBay or something, a reduced price for sure, but get it out of your death pile. Quit having it sit around collecting dust and taking up space where you might be able to replace that with something more profitable. So yeah, have a yard sale. And here's another one. Maybe you should go to yard sales or flea markets or any kind of outdoor venue where you can do your own sourcing, okay? There's a lot more opportunity in the summertime, especially for people who live north, in the northern part of the country where it's cold all winter long. A lot of the flea markets I know back when I lived in Pennsylvania, they closed down during the winter time. They closed like right before Christmas and didn't open again until, say, like May. So from January, February, March, that's one source that they did not any longer have available. But right now everybody's starting to have yard sales and garage sales and church sales and I, sorry, I'm so sorry. It's a helicopter making a lot of noise, interrupting my video, but it's going away. So I'm going to keep on going. But yes, your opportunities to source are much greater during the summer. Key thing, if you take a vacation and you go out of town, why don't you look for some of the thrift stores in that area? Because of course they're suffering from that summer slowdown too, more than likely, because people don't typically think about thrifting when they're on vacation. But you may be able to find something that's different because of where you're going, that's not necessarily available in your area. For instance, if you go to the beach, you may find better bathing suits and better summer attire, or a lot more beachy type housewares and things to that extent that aren't available because you live in the mountains. Okay, so and not that I'm a tax person, but you might be able to write. Sorry, I sneezed like a pterodactyl. You may be able to find things. You may be able to write your trip off, or at least a portion of it, if you go thrifting, which, by the way, just a side note, coming up in August, I will be going back home for a family reunion, and I have decided to add a couple more days onto my vacation time, specifically to go thrifting where I used to live. And one of the places I want to go, take note of this, okay? Pass the word along. I want to go to the Goodwill in Thurmont. I used to live in Thurmont, and do y'all know who goes thrifting there? Do you know? Put her name down below. Yes, it is Jocelyn, the crazy lamp lady. I would love to meet this woman. I have so many feelings of gratitude, and I just want to thank her for everything that she's doing to help me learn, but I don't want to be a creep about it. So, you know, she can reach out to me if she's interested. I'm not going to go reach out to her because, like, I'm not a creep. But if I happen to run into her, I will definitely say hi. Okay, so tip number 4 during the summer slowdown. Look for things. This sounds counterintuitive, but it's the truth. Look for things that you can list coming up in the fall and winter. So when you're out thrifting, you know, Christmas items are going to be marked down because they're trying to get rid of them, right? So you should be able to get them for a really good price, and then they'll be ready and in your store and ready to go come around Christmas time. Or winter items, if you go to a yard sale and somebody's got this big parka or a winter coat or big chunky sweaters or things that, you know, you would be able to sell during the winter, you can probably get them for a really good deal, and you'll have that inventory when the time comes that you won't have to spend that marked up price when everybody else is looking for them. So look for things for the next season, and that also includes back to school, you know, backpacks. There's lists on the internet for things that college students need, like linens and all. I mean, the list is endless, and maybe I'll make a list about that too, or a DVD about that. What is wrong with me? Okay, a video about that. Okay, and then my last and final thing that you can do to beat, and this is probably the most important one, but to get through the summer slowdown, is cross list. So I know, you know, some people are afraid to cross list, and it's understandable. I mean, it's a challenge. You know, you may feel like you're, especially during the slowdown, you know, it might get to your psyche and you think you're doing something wrong, but it's really just a dynamic of what's going on seasonally in the economic world, right? So since it's slow, this is a good time to learn about another platform that maybe you weren't already listing on, and it's a good time to experiment and see what you can do. I will tell you, this is my opinion, but as far as learning, the hardest one to learn is eBay. But that's where I would recommend you start, because if you can list on eBay and get sales, you can get sales anywhere. The second one I would say is Mercari, and the reason why is because even though Mercari has less sales than Poshmark, usually it's easier to get in. And the other thing is that Mercari will give you a little ego boost, because when you go look at your listings, you will see how many people have viewed that. They may not necessarily like it, but it will let you know that at least people are looking at your item. Whereas because eBay is so big, you may get 0 views after the course of 30 days, you know, and that can be like in your head thinking, well, how come they're not looking at my stuff? What's wrong with my stuff? But it's really maybe just a matter of there's so many of it, you know, there are so many shoppers and so many listings. Whereas Mercari, I always see something, even though I don't sell as much on Mercari. Okay, so eBay, Mercari is the next hardest because of the weight. It's really because of the shipping. You have to have measurements for your shipping in weight and also the dimension of the package. And then finally, the easiest one that I use is Poshmark. But Poshmark is a challenge in that because it's social. So there's that listing and sharing and following and all this kind of stuff, okay? And I'll be honest with you, my Poshmark did not take off until I started using some sort of an app to help me with the sharing. I'll be honest with you. And if you're interested, I use Flip, F-L-Y-P. It's a Chrome extension. Every morning I set it for what I want it to do that day, and it does run all day long. You can't use it on, there's no app. You can't use it on your phone. You know, you have to have some sort of a computer to use it. You can buy a cheap computer though. I mean, if you know that's what your main use is for, buy a cheap computer or buy a used computer, put it on there and just set it and forget it really throughout the day. So that's what I do. Otherwise you have to manually do that, and I will be honest with you, unless you are selling spectacular high demand things, Poshmark is really, really hard to get your first sale and get it going. But once you get that thing moving, then it starts to get easier and easier. But it's a slow start. It's a really slow start, and it's very frustrating and very time consuming to do it manually. So that's what I recommend. And Flip used to be free. It's not anymore. It's $9.99, but I'm telling you, it's worth it. You'll make your money back. It's the cheapest one that I know of that's out there. So that's it for my summer slowdown. I'll have more coming for you. More information coming for you. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you guys are getting ready to enjoy your summer and be safe and make some money, okay? And I will see you again.